Just describe your role at Adidas and what your day-to-day activities are.
Yes. At Adidas, I'm heading up global brand marketing, basically signing responsible for everything that is happening from a brand activation side when it comes to Adidas football. Globally means we are providing guidance and tools to all the markets and then basically pick it up. And this is across all the marketing disciplines: retail, PR, social, digital experience, and then traditional communications.
So we just saw your session. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that and the concept of the Tango Squad?
Yes. So Tango Squads is an idea we had coming from, the motivation came from, we need to be more personal, we need to be more connected with our key target consumers, the ones who really make a difference and the ones who also influence the rest of the pack. So when discussing and thinking of how could we do that, we discovered the area of dark social or messaging platforms where you have those one-to-one conversations and where we know the kids are out there as well. They are very used to it. They are doing this constantly every day. So it doesn't feel awkward or it's something they need to adopt or implement in their daily lives. That was the key thought behind Tango Squads and how it all started.
Okay, so it's a notoriously difficult area to measure. What's your approach to measuring the effectiveness of dark social?
It's a good question. I mean, you can't honestly right now measure proper effectiveness of dark social. There are no measurements in place because these messenger platforms were built for the purpose of allowing people to communicate amongst each other, and nobody in the past was interested in how many conversations, how many shares of the conversation, etc. are happening. So most of the suppliers that are currently out there don't have those measurement tools in place. What we do though is we carefully listen to what the kids are basically saying, and then taking this, it's not a measurement as such, but at least you realize what works, what doesn't work, what do the kids pick up, what do they really take further, what do they not like, and then basically try to adjust those and make them better.
Okay, so with that in mind, what's your key benchmark of success, of a successful campaign?
Success for Tango Squad specifically for me would be if by the beginning of next year we have in those 15 cities that we are currently operating across the globe, 500 people, 500 hyper-connected football creators that are part of those Tango Squads, and that there's more kids craving on the outside saying like, I want to become a Tango Squad member as well. What do I need to do? What do I need to change? Please, Adidas, let me in. That would be success.
Okay, and on the flip side of that, are there any risks to kind of handing over the key to your brand slightly to these influencers?
It is dangerous because you need to be committed to react to what they play back. I think the worst thing is if you pretend you're handing over the keys, but then you're not reacting and you're just doing whatever you wanted to do anyways. So yes, it's risky, but I would say for us it's an uncomfortable excitement, how we call it internally, because ultimately we are building our experiences, we are building our products for those kids. So listening to them, what they want, what they expect, couldn't be any better than for us to have this opportunity.
And do you think other advertisers could make similar steps into harnessing a dark social influencer network?
I think every advertiser can do this, for sure. Any brand could tomorrow start tapping into it. There's obviously setups that you need to clarify up front, starting with the fun conversations about how you legally and data protection-wise make sure that this is all buttoned up and in an appropriate state, how you use it. And then you need to be ready to also fulfill and follow up. The worst thing is if you create a community and then it dies after 2 months' time because you don't have the resources or the budget or the plan to keep them alive.
So it's about putting a lot of time into maintaining that community.
Time is probably the biggest investment currently, exactly.
Okay, so just finally, what advice would you give to a marketer that wanted to work for a brand as esteemed as something like Adidas?
I'd say, like, first of all, obviously, if you want to work for Adidas, you need to be a sports fanatic. Everything we do at the brand is connected to sports, and therefore having a true passion for sport helps. It's not a mandate, it's obviously not a recruitment criteria as such, but it obviously helps. By that then comes the passion and the understanding of the specific sport that you're interested in or that you're practicing. And on the other side, I would recommend to put yourself broadly into the place as much as you can. So having worked for an agency, having worked on different disciplines of the marketing mix, is always helpful to have a more rounded and complete portfolio to be able to judge and drive conversations that touch maybe, because the marketing mix these days is multi-touch points. There's not only one retail or only one social touch point. They are somehow all interconnected and interlinked. And you need to be able to understand how they all work and basically influence each other.
Well, thank you very much, Florian.
You're welcome.